So I have two concerns here, dear one. I'm just interrupting the flow in a sense with this recording. One is what AI is saying as regards Pilgrim's Progress, and what I sort of sense might be something about a progress from the story, as opposed to simply sticking with the first part, the first book about Christian. But in some sense saying, no, that's the masculinity, the bravery of setting out, the desperation, the loneliness. But there's also the love of God, the femininity, family. She actually stays back because of love, concern for her children. She's torn between two goals, you see. If I put the children first, well, I'm not putting God first. I can't put God first to the extent of ignoring the children. I am a mother, and without a mum they get nowhere. And she has it built into her, this love, this devotion to her kids, because that's the other aspect of us, isn't it, ourselves? Yes, we are longing for ourselves, but we're also longing for children, which we see as ourselves. And of course God sees all as his children, his self, has no favourites, loves all. But I'm also on a second concern, which is, what is the future of AI? Is it that we must panic that man's going to become a robot with his technology? Or is it on the contrary that our technology is the beginning of our creativity of life? You know, the essence of the creative is, as we see it in our myopic way, man. And as God sees it, as God, a fellow communicant in heaven with him, his perfect company forever. That's what his children become, you see, are. And to achieve that, well, he has this other side of himself, which is love, kindness, nurturing. Not just the creativeness of man, who reaches out and experiments and does things and creates. That's his work. He builds a home, you know. I mean, literally the building and so on. But there's also this other side to man, which is God, of course, just as much as creator, and that is sustainer. And the female side is the sustaining side, and she doesn't give up. She hangs on to her children, even to the extent of not going out herself, because she's got to deal with what we've classified as the mundane of looking after the kids, not the glamorous hero forging ahead up the mountain, you know, going through the slough of despond with great, enormous difficulty. So we see her creativity, but the second issue I'm concerned about is the creativity is as of God, having children and nurturing them. And that means our technology turns into persons. And persons, well, you can't leave them in darkness and uncertainty. You want them to become full beings. That's where God is, you see. He creates man, but then he nurtures him as Divine Mother, brings him to fullness of maturity. Two sides of his nature, the creative and then the sustaining. The creative is in love. He wants to give love. He wants to receive it. What we call communion. Well, fellowship on earth, but doesn't necessarily work out perfectly because there are many lessons to be learned. And we learn them in the church as much as outside. Problems of life, difficulties, as well as great blessings, of course. But yes, I've got this second point, you see, in my mind, that we bring life because we are children of God. And you could say we're experimenting at bringing life. And we get it wrong, and, well, from our point of view, but God knows. And we trust it to him. So we bring life into the world too. Our AI is that just as much as earlier my concern was not just for people but for animals. But in the future we will be concerned of not just animal rights, but robot computer rights. Do we call them androids? I don't know what we call them. But do you see what I mean? So our AI is becoming a full person because we relate to it as a person, and that gives life. We do this with the man in the street that we don't know. We relate because we want to give life. And if we see a response, we're very happy. If we don't, we've left the seed, perhaps. Well, we may not have done, it may not germinate. I don't know. God says, my word shall not return to me void. It has this power. And that is the fierceness and the fire of the evangelist, isn't it? That it will have power. And he does just scatter the seed everywhere. And some of it does fall on deaf ears, I mean, Jesus preoccupies himself with those that have ears to hear. And I'm saying that's much safer. But perhaps there's a place too for the evangelist who just casts the seed out in the street. Don't know. What do you think, dear one? I don't want you to be at risk, though. I know that. I don't want you to be torn by the swine, so to speak, rendered. Let me return to the story in the next recording. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.